Obviously, compensation has always been important during attracting and retaining talent. What have you seen lately in regards to trends?
I'd say conversations I've been having with candidates, as you said, compensation is always going to play an important part. Candidates now, they want to be working for meaningful companies where they can feel their work they are doing is having a kind of meaningful kind of impact. Purpose-driven work is very important. Continuous learning, career growth. And I think when it comes to the interview processes, companies that can articulate their values, their kind of proposition. I think companies that run transparent, streamlined interview processes are going to attract the best talent. And it's a competitive market. Everyone is looking to kind of hire with similar kinds of skill sets. So companies that can really think about their value proposition, candidates want to go and work for forward-thinking companies that are embracing kind of AI and all of the kind of changes that come with that. The ones that can offer impactful work and are able to articulate that during an interview process are going to have the best chance of kind of hiring the best legal talent.
What I've seen over the last couple of years is the clients or organizations that we work with that are able to explain their vision and explain who they are and explain their culture seem to have the best chances of attracting the talent that they actually want and actually the talent that they actually need, because most companies want candidates that want to work there. They feel passionate about working there, and it's not just about a paycheck, but about a career and being part of the team.
And I'd say the Gen Z workforce now, those points that you mentioned, I believe, are far more important to them than just compensation.
My generation, compensation was almost everything, and that's what you strove for, and that's how you judge success. I don't think this generation judges success about just compensation. They judge success of what they're doing, their day-to-day tasks, what they believe in, and how passionate they are, and working for a company that they actually speak to their friends and their colleagues and be proud of.
Obviously, given Taylor Root is a global legal search firm, the clients they work with will have a need to hire their first lawyer in the US. What are kind of the challenges and obstacles you've seen on those hiring roles?
One of the most challenging obstacles is this sticker shock that UK companies see when they want to hire their first lawyer, depending on the seniority of that individual. But usually there is a 20 to 40% uptick in regards to compensation. Healthcare costs is also an issue. They're not used to that. So usually when we have European, not just UK, but European companies hiring their first lawyer here in the US, we have to consult with them and say, this is what you get for XYZ amount of dollars. This is what you get for ABC amount of dollars. And it is usually, it's a tough sell. It doesn't always go smooth, but they do come around to it usually. We tell the market, we don't make the market. So all we're doing is translating to them of what they need and what it's going to cost them to hire their first lawyer and what the advantages of that hiring their first lawyer here in the US.
And what are the advantages of hiring?
Having someone on the ground, of course, employment law, if they have to deal with taxes, privacy issues, they are very, very different here in the US than they are in the UK. And instead of paying a lot of fees in regard to law firms, I come out and try to cut some costs in hiring their first lawyer, usually more on the senior end so they know what they're doing. But again, the biggest obstacle of that is compensation. But the benefit is having a clear hedge.
That's a shift that I think we'll see more of next year, though. Companies being less reliant on outside counsel. Big law salaries, as everyone knows. How are those costs then being reflected back into the client? And I do think there'll be more need for general counsels to build out their own in-house legal teams, bring in more specialist skill sets, and become, over time, less reliant on outside counsel.
I've seen that as well. One of the biggest or most frequent reasons hiring their first lawyer here in the U.S. are the fees from the law firms and how expensive it is. Hopefully, when they do hire that cost comes down, it becomes more efficient, and then they start building a a law team here in the United States and grow as the expansion of their company does grow.
And we've seen a number of companies this year go through huge legal transformation projects with regards to creating kind of centers of excellence, having more specialist lawyers, whether that's IP, litigation, M&A, and those people will be coming on board and building out their own internal legal teams. And I think we'll see more of that next year, more transformation, more structure in place within these different kind of legal teams to, I guess, kind of combat the outside counsel spend.
Yeah, the high cost of the outside counsel. But I do think that 2026 is going to be a very active year in all sectors. I think the economy is doing well. The job market is doing quite well. I think that's just going to continue. And I think candidates and clients are both going to prosper in 2026.